Bad Boys for Life. The review.
One last time. One last time.
What's going down, Green Screen Entertainment fans? Your boy Jay Green right here with my homie Josh. Boom, it's one of my best friends. So of course I had to bring him in on the Bad Boys for Life review. Now right now I'm in Florida, we ain't in Miami, but hey, we doing it right now on the East Coast. Anyways, we just got out of Bad Boys for Life. A lot of stuff going on in the film. We're gonna try to do our best not to spoil it for you, but initial thoughts, I thought this movie was phenomenal. I thought it was the best in the series. I thought that the emotion and the action and everything in the story carried nice from the first one through the second through this one. So let's go off of that first. Story-wise, what'd you think about the story, the plot?
Yeah, so overall, it was a great story, good character development. It built up as it went on. You know, Martin did a great job. Will Smith also did a great job. You know, it definitely kept you entertained and on the edge of your seat the entire movie. It was action-packed, you know, thriller-type movie. Definitely had its share of explosions, you know, it was a shoot-'em-up type movie. It was never a dull moment.
So one thing that, one reason why I wanted to see it with my homie right here is because obviously I love this man, just like Martin and Will's characters love each other in the film. So when you're thinking about how we've seen them grow from the first Bad Boys through the second and the family dynamic with Martin and all of that stuff into this one, what'd you think about that little extra bit of the family coming into it? How'd you feel about that?
So I thought that was great. You know, I had a little something for everybody. My only issue is that they took so damn long to finally come out with Bad Boys for Life. You know, after Bad Boys 2 came out, we've all been waiting for for the third installment of this series. You know, there came times when we didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm glad they finally got to it and did it. So, you know, we grew up together, you know, watching the first two, and it finally came out. You know, they're getting older, we're getting older, so, you know, it's fitting.
So as they're growing through the films, we're growing up in life, do you feel that this made sense, the things that were going on in the film, as far as like, in the trailers you can see that they're playing up the whole fact that Martin is old, he needs glasses, you know what I'm saying, he wants to retire, he's tired of the shoot 'em up, bang bang, but Will Smith, he's still into it. Does it make sense that one person with the family would be that way and then someone without the family would probably be that way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, the more family members you have, you start to have grandkids and things of that nature. You know, you want to get out of the game. You know, you want to relax a little bit, get on with retirement, and, you know, just kind of slow down. Plus, like, once you get older, your joints and muscles, they don't work the same way as they used to.
Fact.
So it just made total sense. And, you know, Will, he's the kind of guy, you know, he's an action junkie. He definitely loves keeping his body count. You know, they show it in the movie time after time. He doesn't want to let it go. He's just holding on to dear life like an anklet on a fat chick. You know?
So to that point about Will being the action junkie, I thought that like the action that Will was portraying on screen had that blend of, you know, Hollywood action where you're like, is this realistic, is it not? But most of it, he wasn't really able to hold his own all the time next to some of the young cats that was in the film. I kind of like that aspect. I felt it gave it a little bit more authenticity. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you know, the movie was really authentic. I mean, you can go more off that, but I just sat back, enjoyed it, and, you know, saw it develop and had a great time.
Right? Let's see here. We got Captain Howard is back. We got the whole, the ammo crew. The younger squad is out there. They're basically the old school Will Smith, if you will. What'd you think about the interaction with Martin Lawrence's character kind of being in that mindset of retirement? Will Smith's character is still kind of wanting to go out there and get it done, mixed in with that whole ammo crew. Do you felt like that dynamic was cool? Was it working for you?
Yeah, so ammo, you know, they came in, they're young, they're younger, they're in better shape, they're super high speed, they have the technology, they have the training, you know, they're ready to go. And Martin was cool with that. He was ready to pass the torch on, right, so to speak. But, you know, Will was very conflicted with the ammo crew because he liked doing it the old school way. He liked kicking in doors. He didn't want to use technology to get the bad guys, so he just wouldn't let it go. So, you know, they had their fair share of arguments throughout the movie, and y'all gonna have to check it out and see if they end up, you know, getting a good working relationship together. But I don't want to say more than that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that this movie kind of made me think of all the movies that we see right now that are trying to pull out sequels upon sequels because franchises are really big right now. And I remember watching Will Smith in an interview on The Breakfast Club where he said that we didn't want to do this movie unless we did it right. So like Josh was saying, we didn't know when this movie was going to come out, if it was ever going to come out. So Bad Boys fans, we was holding out tight for real, for real. But I do think that they got it right with this one. And I think that they did that by kind of combining all the things that we might have seen in old school 90s franchises, similar to like a Lethal Weapon, right? Where you see Riggs and Murtaugh growing over time. You see the evolution of their mindset and how they want to attack crime and the new guys coming in. You know, I don't think that anything in this movie was too far out of the realm of possibility in regards to what we've already seen. So story-wise, I think that was legit. I enjoyed seeing more areas of Miami. I feel like the first movie was like in a certain area of Miami. It was very like, you know, it was a smaller movie, if you will, even though it had explosions. The second movie, a lot more money, sure, you know, bigger budget, so they're going a lot more places. This movie, a different area, I feel. What'd you think about being, my man right here has been all over the place. You've been to Miami, right?
I have.
Okay, so was it nice to see all the areas of Miami in this film?
You know, we saw it all. We saw South Beach, we saw the metro area, you know, we saw the top of all the skyscrapers. I think the movie even, no, not think, but I know the movie even went out to Mexico City, huge city. They were out there, you know, doing it.
They was out there doing it for real, for real. Let's see here, what else we got? One thing that I liked about this film was the banter between Martin and Will. I kind of feel like, you know, in the first movie, Will was more of the nagging chick because he was the more diva, if you will, of the partnership. In the second movie, Martin was a little bit more of the nagging chick because he's a family man. He's got to protect his family. He's thinking more so about the department and the money that they're spending and not getting in trouble, things of that nature. But in this movie, I feel like it was a kind of a hand in hand. And I felt like Martin, the way that his character had to make moves in this film based on certain things that happened, I feel like Martin's emotional game stepped up, as did Will's. Will, we already know, can be emotional, but I've never seen Martin this emotional in any film. Can you think of any film where we've seen him like this emotional? Like, there's shit that jumps off. Like,
No, I really can't. That's the first time, you know, I've seen Martin play that type of role, and it's good. It just shows his abilities as an actor. You know, he can branch out and do different things. So hopefully we see it more in the future.
yeah. So with Martin's emotional side coming out in the film, which was great, we've seen Will's emotional side in many of the films, but never in the Bad Boys franchise. And when it plays out in this movie, what happens to make that emotion come out makes sense. It doesn't seem far-stretched or far-fetched or anything like that. I thought that was super legit. Michael Bay. Michael Bay is not directing this film. But I think that this film was still very Michael Bay-ish in the sense of the color palette was like bright and vibrant. I mean, it's very Miami swag. I thought there was like crazy amounts of explosions, but maybe tamed down to a certain extent that you could still feel that Michael Bay vibe, but it wasn't Michael Bay. What you think about the direction?
Yeah, you know, I feel the same way. If you sat in this theater and you watched the entirety of the movie and you had no idea who directed it, you know, you probably lean towards thinking it was Michael Bay just because of all the explosions and the type of action, and even had that Michael Bay, you know, feel to it. We had helicopters explosion, you know, rotors flying around, grenade launchers, grenades thrown off motorcycles, all kind. Like that's all Michael Bay right there.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, the one other thing that I'll say is that, again, we're trying not to spoil anything. There are twists and turns in this film, and there are moments that you do not see coming and that you do not expect. And if this was the final installment of the Bad Boy trilogy, I feel that recent movies that have come out that do not truly give you maybe what you wanted and maybe what was necessary for the character or characters in the film, this movie does. I honestly feel like this could be the final film of the Bad Boy legacy, if you will, and it would have ended perfectly the way that it ends. I can't explain it enough that this is a movie that I'm going to be thinking about just because I had so much fun with it. The action was great, the story was great, and the way that they kind of, you know, put the stop on it was phenomenal. What would you say about the ending? The ending of the trilogy, what do you think about that?
yeah, so I actually beg to differ on that one.
Hot take.
You know, I'm not gonna give you guys any spoilers or anything like that once again, but with what happened at the end and the cut scene after the credits, that leads me to believe that there will be another Bad Boys movie. I'm actually excited about it, how everything tied in, you know, to allow it to happen. But hey, you're gonna have to go out and check it out if you haven't already and find out exactly what I'm talking about.
For sure. hot take here, there could potentially be a Bad Boys 4. Well, I don't know what the hell they're gonna call it because it kind of wasted the best title on this one right here. But either way, you need to go out to the theater and see this one. I would say IMAX, the biggest theater possible, because it's an action movie. It looks great. It's emotional. See it with a large crowd, for real, for real. By this time, you probably already seen this movie anyways. This review's coming up late, but it's all good. My man, would you tell people that they need to go see this one in the theater for sure?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. It is a fun, entertaining movie. Like I said earlier, it's going to keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's loud, has good music. You know, it's Miami, so for the guys, hot females all throughout the movie. For the ladies, you know, there's good-looking dudes in there. Hot cars, like, you know, just Miami. You know, gold chains, hip hop, you name it. So definitely got to go take a trip to the theater for this one.
All right, y'all hear to hear. Yo, it's my man Josh. It's your boy Jay Green, Green Screen. We out.